I wish I had a horn.
It's Tuesday, 22nd of November 2016. It's time now for episode 79 of the Lazy Couch Podcast. We're here to give you what you need to know about technology, gadgets, pop culture, and all things geeky. Broadcasting all the way from the TLC studios in Sydney, Australia. My name is Jeff Kim, and I didn't do it. Nobody saw me do it. You can't prove anything, man.
My name is Kelvin Lee, and my heart works.
Your heart works.
Yeah.
You have a heart, first of all.
Yeah. So
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So the story is, I bought a watch. It's a new Garmin 235, and no, they don't sponsor this show. So it's got a heart rate tracking that's on 24/7.
It's fancy looking.
And right now I'm at 70 heartbeats
Wow.
a minute. So
That's not bad. It's not bad. No, it's not as good as Von Paul.
yeah, it's
earlier
60.
today.
Yeah, but he was practically asleep. So
Also, he has no heart.
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so thoughts so far on it?
Yeah, pretty good. I haven't run with it yet, which is the whole point of this thing.
Angry Andy's not going to be pleased about that.
I know. I spoke to Angry Andy. He's like, "When's the maiden run?" I'm like, "Last night, today, maybe sometime."
I chat to him like on our instant messenger
Yeah.
probably once a week, and the only thing he asks me is like, "Have you gone for a run yet?" on your
He's like-
Apple Watch.
He's like a run Nazi or something. So I've done 9,000 steps today.
Not bad.
Not factoring our football match just
No.
before this episode.
Ooh, that was a good game.
So you can't wear a watch during a football match. Apparently,
So
not-
it's,
not good.
some guy in the other team got told off for wearing what was it, like a necklace thing,
It was a pretty badass
and
chain.
he also didn't have his shin pads.
Really,
No, did you?
it's quite funny. Remember I played last week without shin pads, but yet they can
And
see
this was the
guy's
second half when
necklace.
he noticed as well.
Yeah.
The referee noticed.
Funny.
Yeah,
Those
wow.
referees.
I wonder if we can play with watches on.
I don't
'Cause I'd
think you
love
can.
to. Will they tell us off?
Maybe
Is it dangerous? It's
strap
only
it-
dangerous for the watches, right?
Yeah, strap it to your ankle.
Okay.
No. But on that note, we should do an
Mm.
activity tracking episode.
Yeah, we've been talking about that.
I know everyone I know has a Fitbit now, but what are they doing with that data?
Ooh. Yes,
Mm.
data is the right thing to say today.
Yeah.
Yes, we'll cover that later.
Yeah.
For me this week, I want to talk about the movie Arrival,
Yes.
which I saw last night. Actually, it's
Yes.
you know what? It's amazing.
Is it worth an episode?
It's a little bit outside of our normal, I don't know, movie review episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so. I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
When are you
Oh,
going to watch that?
next week,
Okay.
and then we'll cover that.
All right.
But no, still want to give your no spoiler review.
Sure. Yeah. Well, this is a. Yeah, we can't really talk about it without spoiling it.
Yeah.
To be honest, but I think there's a lot of heart. Speaking of heart in this
Yeah.
movie, and you know, like all I can say for now is that it's one of the great movies. I think it'll end
Yeah.
up being the top 10 all time IMDb. It's already at 8.3, I believe.
How was Lois Lane?
Lois Lane was talking to aliens.
Yeah, and Hawkeye.
Yes. Hawkeye was shooting blanks.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch the movie for that to make any sense.
Yes. Okay. So this episode, what are we going to talk about, Kelvin? We're going to talk about this thing that's everyone's talking about, really.
Yeah.
Which is this concept of fake news that's being spread around the internet.
Exactly.
So I think we've been sort of tinkering with the idea of talking about you know, the feed in general, because we're so involved with the feed, aren't we?
Yeah.
Like whether it's Facebook or Instagram or Snapchat. Snapchat's not really a feed, is it? I guess it is.
It is. All the major news sites are on there now.
Yeah, so we've been wanting to talk about this, and the election happened a couple of weeks ago. It's kind of changed the whole landscape of what is right and wrong in the news, I think. So we want to cover that. Yeah.
And I think it's worth talking about because there's a huge technology spectrum to this as well. I mean, if you look at the way your Facebook feed has changed over the years from just your friends talking about cats to, you know, like Upworthy, and I'm actually following news sites and journals on my Facebook feed now. I think the real breaking point came was when you could just follow people but not be their friends, which is a weird concept when you think about it. But now everyone's doing it. I mean, I unfollow so many of my friends because I don't trust half the stuff they're sharing, but I still want to be their friends. It doesn't mean I don't like you anymore. It's not personal.
Oh, so you just unfollow them?
Unfollow them.
Okay,
but
right.
you can still be friends with them. You don't have to unfriend them.
Yeah.
So my Facebook feed is a mix of the friends I trust in particular industries and different segments, and newspapers and journals that I trust. But it took me a very long time to fine-tune my feed. If it's not something you do, I can imagine if you, I don't know, go to Facebook once a week or once every couple of days, this fire hose of information is overwhelming almost. Like, what do you trust, right? I mean, it all comes down to your friends and what they like. So it's definitely worth talking. I'm also a bit of a search geek. So, yeah, I love this stuff.
Right. So just to set it all up, I guess, well, why are we talking about this in the first place is exactly that. It's, Trump won the election, unfortunately.
Yeah,
well,
for those who've been living under a rock.
We're going to say, if you're a listener of the show, would we expect them to be a Trump hater?
I don't know.
Is that fair to say?
I don't think... See, the thing is, and this is one of the big things about this whole election, all the polls were wrong. Right? I think it's safe to say all the polls are wrong. So no one is saying what they're doing. I make it sound like we're American. We're not. But there's no way half the country would have, lied to the polls. And because Hillary was, even before the election happened, I mean, there were rumors that she didn't have a speech ready because she knew she was going to win. So no one was, saying what they were doing. So who knows who is a Trump supporter and who isn't? In fact, I do know Trump supporters here in Sydney.
Am I one of those?
Yeah, but yeah, it's good.
To be honest, though, I think if I were to choose, I would have gone for Trump, to be honest. I'm not saying I'm a supporter.
Yeah.
I would have just done it for the sake of, blowing everything up.
Just watching it burn.
Yeah. Anyway, maybe I wouldn't have. Yeah.
Yeah, but who knows, right? When it comes to the crunch, especially, considering we're not in the US, you can imagine how much more of this stuff they're seeing thrown at their faces on radios, on bus ads, on TV, on the internet. So yeah, we want to talk about that, but we also want to, give you a couple of tips on how to avoid this from happening in terms of fake news appearing on your feed and just ignoring it. Because the more you ignore it, the more it's going to come up, and in due time you won't know what's real.
Yeah, one thing I'll say is that we're not going to pretend to be a political podcast here, so we know nothing about politics.
No.
We only go by the feed that we see every day. Just first of all, on Facebook. What's the first thing you do when you wake up in the morning?
Yeah, it's email and Facebook and checking my calendar.
Email? Email is number one?
Yeah.
Is that what? Work email?
Your work email.
You serious?
Only because I want to make sure that, the meetings that I have in the morning aren't going to cancel. But it's purely just calendar. I think calendar and Facebook.
Okay.
Just to see what's happened overnight. See, is that a behavioral change? Like, did you used to do that?
Well, I think we've been doing that for a number of years. I think nowadays, we're even more addicted to it, right? So it's not even when you wake up in the morning, it's every spare second you've got. Yeah, everyone's like on their phones with the neck crane happening, walking on the street, and they're probably 50% of the time would be on Facebook.
Yeah, and WhatsApp is Facebook, I guess. You know what I mean? The concept is there.
Okay.
The thing is, you're reading things that your friends are sharing, or things that people are, the people that you're following. So I think it's key to understand where all this news comes from, who owns what. Try to figure out the people who are writing it and everything. It's going to be hard for people to, see what's real and what's not.
Right. So just earlier, you were playing a TED Talk from 2011?
Yep.
And it was the CEO of Upworthy?
Yeah, which I really like.
We should clip that because I only heard the sound bits, but it was quite interesting. Like, he was talking about the concept of filter bubbles even back then.
Yeah, so his name is Eli Pariser. So Upworthy, I think the concept you can say is very similar to Reddit. So for people who don't know, the way Reddit works is you get a whole bunch of people sharing stuff. If you like it, you vote for it. And then it moves up the feed. And if you make the homepage, you're like, you've got God status on the internet. So Upworthy was very much a similar concept, but what they did very different to Reddit, which is a very closed community, is Upworthy is now huge on Facebook. Like, I follow Upworthy. It's probably the only news feed I get where it's like fun, positive news all the time.
Really? I haven't seen an Upworthy article for a long time. Why is that?
Yeah. I don't know, because I follow them. Maybe because I clicked on a couple of Upworthy links and the Facebook gods.
Actually, I actually assumed that they were gone because I haven't seen one for a while. I was just thinking this the other day. I was like, what happened to Upworthy? Because I never see it.
They're still around for me.
Okay. All I see is like, people they share a lot of, Lad Bible, all these Facebook accounts that share articles rather than people sharing the articles themselves.
Yeah.
Like a third-party website. So I don't know. There's this like some sort of dynamic there, which is interesting there. Like being a Facebook profile versus an individual that shares articles outside of Facebook.
Yeah, I think my feed is probably 50% people, 50% publishers, which is slightly more skewed, I think, than most people. I'm guessing most people to get their stuff from their friends.
Okay.
But what Eli was talking about was this idea of a filter bubble. So the way Google works is it now has the capability, well, for many years now, to when you log into Gmail, when you do a Google search, it looks at all that stuff and tries to formulate a persona of you. And based on the things that you click on the internet, it determines what the next sort of personalized search results would look like for you. So Jeff and I here, let's say I'm an avid cyclist and he's not. If he were to type in bicycle, he would get the top bicycles for a beginner or something.
I would get the song Bicycle by Queen.
Yes.
Bicycle.
Yeah. And I might get Twitter front coverage. So there's no way to actually tell how Google formulates that for you because Google is very, very secretive about its algorithm. So much so to a point where the rumor is if you speak to a Google engineer, they only ever work on one piece of the code. And then at the end of the day, it all gets compiled. So even if you run away with the code, you only have one very small section of the algorithm.
There must be a section of the team that has control of the whole thing, though, right?
Apparently, it's a programmatic compiler.
Ooh, okay.
Anyway, we're going to
bow down to Google, Sky.
I think we just lost 10 listeners from me just saying programmatic. So
it's programmatic.
Yeah. So if, for example, so what Eli was saying was, I mean, he obviously is a left-wing sort of skewed person, but he loves reading what the right-wing, the alt-right, as they call them.
I bet he does, yeah.
Yeah. What they do and stuff. But he doesn't see that anymore because Google has, identified him as a left-wing sort of activist, and that is correct. But we should decide what we want to see, not publishers. And at the moment, the likes of your Google, Facebook, Twitter, and all the other publishers have determined this for you.
So what resonated with me from that speech was that I guess this concept of in the past, before the internet age, I guess publishers or editors were the gateway into gateway for you consuming that news. Now the internet has opened up for everyone to have a voice. But instead of actual individuals doing that, now it's like robots.
Yeah.
Like the Google bot and the Google algorithms. They're the gateways. And so does that make the people that program these algorithms the gods?
I mean, pretty much.
Are they the new editors?
And the worst part is, we covered the story a couple of weeks ago where Facebook has fired a lot of their human curators and allowed the algorithm to take over. And immediately, So
I think there's a little bit of misinformation with that angle because they were curating the side-related articles, right?
Yeah.
Not the feed itself.
No
one controls that.
No one controls
But everyone thinks that, because the fake news or the so-called fake news doesn't appear on the related articles.
No, it doesn't.
It's appearing in the feed because people are sharing it.
That's
and
right.
liking it.
That's right.
So two different things.
Exactly. Two very different things. Sort of like Twitter moments where Twitter decides what is the news of the day for you, that sort of thing. And then that's hilarious. And until, and the thing is machine learning, right? So even if there is a person who sort of laid the base code for it, the machine continues to learn about what the internet likes, and the internet is screwed up. You know what I mean? The moment the curators left Facebook, there was a story about some guy screwing a Burger King Whopper burger, and it
so
made
that
the
ended
top
up
of
in
that
the related articles or
That's
popular
right.
articles.
It ended up in popular articles.
But is that only because it was actually popular?
Yes, because everyone wanted to mess with the algorithm.
Well, and I think it was this, self-fulfilling thing, right?
Yes, exactly.
So because it was appearing near the top of the list,
people
people
just
were clicking on it. And
that's right.
Yeah.
So you're right, though. And yeah, the good old days of having good editorial independence by people like the Guardian and all those big newspapers like the Oz, our days gone by.
Right. So yeah, just on the filter bubble, what's part of this now, I think, is WhatsApp, especially in Australia, and I think I hear it's very, very big in India as well. I'm sure in America and the UK, but like WhatsApp, owned by Facebook. They're essentially like the old Google Plus circles, aren't they?
Pretty much. They're chainmail 2.0.
So what are we doing on these WhatsApp groups?
It's pretty horrible now. So I have a group of all my 40 like uncle, aunties, and cousins and stuff.
Yeah.
And some of the spam that comes through that group is relentless.
So that group by itself is a social network.
Yeah. So, my poor aunties and uncles, they, I don't know how they get this stuff. That's the thing I haven't really figured out. It probably is from another WhatsApp group of some, community group that they go to, some,
it's on the internet. It must be true.
Yeah, it must be true. And then they share things like, make sure when you switch on your microwave, there isn't a magnet around because you might blow your whole house up. Things like that. So a lot of that fake stuff has been going around, and that's been happening for me from this group and from other groups, obviously, for the last couple of months. It's been going on for at least 6 months.
And how many of these groups are you part of now?
I would say 2 or 3 because I've left a few. But you can't leave family groups. That's blasphemy.
Also, yeah, the WhatsApp etiquette. This is like, so if you get invited into a group, do you have to contribute? Or can you just say nothing and
I'm not saying
leave?
a thing in those groups.
So you just reading or just like
I'm
muted
just,
it?
when it hits like 99 messages, I just read it.
So when your Auntie May Auntie May, your wife is May, but like, do you have a May?
No, I don't.
May?
Okay, let's just call Auntie 1.
It's Peter Parker's Auntie's May.
Yes.
Okay, so that's where I got it from.
Yeah.
Okay, when your
May.
Aunt May, when she goes to you, Kelvin, what about that article I told you about the Jurian thing?
Nope. There's no expectation for you to read it because there's 40 people on it, right?
All right.
Yeah, because it's like a chainmail, right?
So
back in the good old days.
You haven't
email.
checked it for a week. How many messages would there be?
About 100.
Oh, that's pretty good.
That's not too bad, but it's just the quality of those things, and I don't blame them. I mean, there's so much, and we're quite trained, you and I, because we work digital. I used to work in PR and stuff, so we know like what this noise looks like. We read The Onion for fun and satirical news. So we can. I think this will end at some point, but we can still tell like what is obviously.
So are they just BS. Sharing links, or are they after someone shares it? Are they talking about that link? Or like,
that's right.
Wow, that was a really.
But they're sharing they're copying pasting the articles in the WhatsApp feed. It's not links.
Oh,
so
they know how to copy and paste from a phone.
Yes.
Wow.
And they're uploading videos.
How?
They're sharing videos. It's being shared via WhatsApp. So what we use WhatsApp for, this whole one-to-one communication.
Oh, screenshots. They do a lot of screenshots.
It's not like what's happening in Asia. In Asia, there are full-on chat groups. So we use WhatsApp all very differently. And you and I now use Facebook Messenger exclusively just to communicate. And recently they launched chat rooms. Join our chat room if anyone's looking for it.
Is that a public room?
Yeah, it's a public room.
Oh, okay.
It's not just me, you, and Von Paul.
All right.
So, join us.
How do they find this?
I think you have to search for it in chat rooms.
Really?
Yeah.
So if they search for the Lazy Couch.
Yeah.
Okay. Are we going to add that to the ending?
It is at the ending.
It is an ending already. Okay. Okay.
So everybody wants a piece of this because WeChat, which is probably, arguably, if you can call it a social network, is China's largest social network.
Yeah.
But it's very community based, and they share everything. You can do everything on WeChat. You can pay people. You can buy movie tickets. You can shop. While we're all consuming news differently, whether it be through Facebook, The Guardian, anyone else. This is still a problem.
Yeah. So here's where it gets a little bit crazy. Now we're all sort of telling Facebook to monitor these fake news articles better. How are they going to monitor these WhatsApp groups and Facebook chat rooms? Are they going to be like, if you share a potential fake thing, are they going to say, hey, no, this has been marked as fake. You can't share this.
Yeah. So
what are they going to do that?
I mean, it's similar to Google.
But we're asking them to do that of the feed. What is the actual difference? There is no difference between the feed and WhatsApp anymore. That's my point.
There is no difference.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Google has a similar policy on Google.com, right? Where you can identify spam sites and and tell Google to take it down. I mean, suggest almost, so Google will go investigate. I think Facebook is now at a point where it has to do that.
Yeah.
I think it has a certain level of responsibility to, weed out horrible sites and to do what it needs to do for the greater good of the internet. The problem is, where does it extend to? How does it identify what is?
No, it's great. It's a grey area. You can't draw
exactly.
a line.
So
you just can't. So you can like maybe somehow stop articles being shared. But what about just like posts? If I wanted to say, "Hey, Hillary is actually a lizard lady about to take over the world,"
no, you can't.
will Facebook not allow me to say that because that's a lie?
Just like I'm guessing a lot of blogs out there,
so that you can't actually be controlled. That's my point.
So I think that's the point. Twitter, Facebook, Google can do as much as they can, but I think as an individual, you have to take certain measures to look after your own sort of feeds and the way you consume this information. And we'll talk about that in a sec in terms of how to identify those things. I mean, it becomes something that you have to take notice of.
Okay. Okay, where should we go now? How about Mark Zuckerberg's response earlier this week?
Yeah.
All right, so he wrote a long post. When was this? 19th of November. So it's we'll clip this, of course, in the notes. But here we go. The problems here are complex, both technically and philosophically. Ooh, it is indeed.
Yeah.
We believe in giving people a voice, which means erring on the side of letting people share what they want whenever possible. That's always been their vision. I agree with that.
Yeah.
We need to be careful not to discourage sharing of opinions or to mistakenly restrict accurate content, which is the downside of trying to filter these things. We do not want to be arbiters of truth ourselves, but instead rely on our community and trusted third parties. I think that's the right thing to say for now.
Yeah.
While the percentage of misinformation is relatively small, we have much more work ahead on our roadmap. Normally, we wouldn't share specifics about our work in progress, but given the importance of these issues and the amount of interest in this topic, I want to outline some of the projects already we have underway. Now, okay, so he's got a few lists. You want to go through these?
Yeah, I think it's worth going through.
All right, so stronger detection is one.
Yep.
So, I mean, he's got a little spiel there, but what do you think that is? Is this some sort of algorithm or robot trying to pick up on certain key phrases or hot words?
It's probably going to be similar to Google, and it's going to be a mix of human curation. Facebook needs to put together.
But we're talking about posts. So if I said, I'm watching a State of Origin game, and I go, F off Queenslanders.
Yeah.
Is that going to be?
Which you've done before.
I've done that, many times before.
I think this is purely about not sentiment, but what is purely incorrect, false information.
Yeah, but it's not like when we post things on our social networks, it's not always about whether something is real or not.
Yeah.
So this is going to be very tough.
Yeah, you're right. And there's going to be I don't think it'll be purely algorithmic based. I think you can flag certain things as false, which is what I think they're trying to point out here, is detect whether people will flag as false before they do it themselves. So, I think they can shut down domains, right? I mean, if 90% of all people who flag something as false has identified, I don't know, particular newssite.com, then they can make that call and just filter that out. It's not going to be far reaching, I would think.
Sure. Okay. The next one is easy reporting. So I think this is to do with like being able to, for the community to flag things as fake.
That's right.
Now I think this is dangerous territory because of course there's these parody sites that have been around for years and years. The whole purpose is to do fake news, right? So like, what happens to them?
I think you have to, I think just like Google, you can openly classify the kind of site you are. As long as you strongly state that, like on Facebook groups, we are a media/information news site.
Yes.
I think there will be an option possibly for them to be a satirical site or a comedy site and label that.
The problem though is like, it's possible that these sites are already satirical, but they're just being shared and not because no one's actually clicking into the articles.
They're just reading the
bylines. They're just reading the headline, and people are just taking that as truth. So I think in some ways, like maybe you can't. They got to somehow make people click into the actual articles. I think to read the full context rather than
or tag it as comedy somehow.
Yeah.
See how does YouTube do it? Because YouTube must have a lot of bad videos.
Yeah.
Anyway.
The other thing about this part is that because I'm into sports and I read a lot of stuff on Facebook. Actually, if you go through my Facebook feed, my news feed, it's mostly sports stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, because there's different opinions, let's just say, in these sports sort of the comments area.
Yeah.
And I see something that's really that I don't like. My natural reaction is to I want to see if I can ban this person on Facebook.
Yeah.
Or block them or somehow mark them as a spammer.
Oh.
They don't actually allow you to do that. But so if, just because you give people this ability to mark this as not cool, I think people might just abuse that.
No, definitely.
As well.
Definitely.
Anyway, third-party verification. I think this has to happen.
Yeah, just like Twitter, right? Verified accounts.
Yeah, but also the website or the domain. Yeah, it's got to be like, I think Google gives preference to sites that have been around for longer.
That's right.
More reputable.
That's right.
So in that sort of same way, the shareability of that article on Facebook is diminished if it's not well thought of. Now the verification process can be a bit tricky because is it a matter of you get a tick or not? Or how do you...
I mean, even Twitter's verification process was very much a dark sort of black magic for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But because it has to be humanly done, I just don't see how it can be done by a robot. So someone literally has to go into the account, make sure that they link back and forth between the profile and the website and verify, as much of its content as possible.
Sure.
I think you and I have applied for instant articles in Facebook.
Well, you did.
I
Kelvin,
did.
Yes.
And the way that the robot has scanned through the content is pretty damn impressive. So, I mean, that's 50% of the work done in terms of how dodgy your site is. Are you sending links in and out? Do you have dodgy advertising and things like that?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of their technology is doing half the heavy lifting.
Sure. All right, warnings. So I guess this is a result of people flagging things, maybe?
Yeah.
We're exploring labeling stories that have been flagged. Oh, here you go. Flagged as false by third parties or our community. Okay, there you go.
And I think this is very much like that Reddit approach, right? The thumbs up, thumbs down. Let the community decide what's up and down a little bit.
Yeah, but you're not voting on whether it's true or not. You're just voting on whether you agree with something or not. So
but you just hope that that half the internet is smart and that prevails, and you can be able to identify what is true and what isn't.
Well, half of the US voted for Trump. All right, related articles quality. We are raising the bar for stories that appear in related articles under links in the newsfeed.
That's
raising
descriptive.
Raising the bar. Is that the bar in the new MacBook?
No. Yeah, if only. All
right.
So they're obviously just saying here that
that's just a throwaway line. They don't actually know what they're doing.
Nope.
Disrupting fake news economics.
Yes.
Oh, that's interesting. How does that work?
So anyone advertising on Facebook for you to read false news will now be shut down.
So this is how those Macedonian teenagers...
That's right.
They created a new site, wrote thousands of articles that were fake, and it just got spread around.
So this is also known as thin content. So what a lot of robots can do now is take one paragraph from this news site, take the second paragraph from another news site, and take the third paragraph from another news site, mush it all together and go, ta-da, original content, haha, do all your, plagiarism tools and things that can't pick this up, but it can now. So Google... the reason why Google is almost out of the news for this fake news scenario is because their technology around detecting these things is probably second to none, and Facebook and Twitter probably isn't there yet. It's not a social
Google
network.
Google's not a social.
It's
you don't share something that you find on Google.
It's not. But the algorithm to determine what is of high authority, what is of good value is probably ahead of the game.
Yeah.
So that's good. I think Google's doing the same thing as well, though. They're shutting out people from Google AdWords in terms of bidding on terms if you don't have a good site.
And lastly, this is on their roadmap: listening. Because they're not listening right now. It's on the roadmap. Okay, what's he saying? We will continue to work with journalists and others in the news industry to get their input, in particular to better understand the fact-checking systems and learn from them.
I'm not listening because I'm not there in the road market.
Yeah, I think all in all, I think he's probably sending the right message. He's probably in a lose-lose situation here. Like whatever he said, no one's going to be happy with, really, or not everyone will be happy with. Yeah,
it's a tough job for Zuck. I mean, half the country's angry, regardless of people who support Trump or people who support Hillary. People are just angry and they want to point the finger at someone, and they're pointing at Facebook because. But what you need to understand is there is a certain responsibility on you as the internet user to be able to, Are
we still in that immature state of the internet where we can't, distill what's real or fake? I mean, like, I don't know. Like, I just can't understand how people can think that something so outlandish can be true. Although I will talk about an incident that happened during the elections, which might explain why this happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like, I feel like, people like you and me, where we're quite, we know we're street smart, maybe, like on the internet. Like we know what to look out for and what smells a bit funny. But would you say like the mainstream still don't know how to do that?
I without blowing our own horns too much, in the moment I see a story and I question,
this is why we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
I wish I had a horn. See, that's how budget this podcast is. We don't even have a freaking soundboard. We literally make them up as we go. I think people are lazy on the internet. I think they see a story, they go, "Oh my God, Hillary killed that investigator that was looking into her email problem."
That's true, man. That's true. Okay.
With alligators. They don't actually read multiple news sources like you and I would. I actually try to verify news stories now.
All right, so So where do you get your news in general?
Well, there's the general sort of big papers, right? And I know they're all skewed left and right now and sort of thing. But
but do you go to the homepage of SMH or CNN or not CNN? What's that other one? Guardian.
Yeah. So for me, it's a lot of ABC, a lot of Guardian, and a lot of Wall Street Journal, the New Yorker, and things like that.
I would only say I would go to a homepage of a news outlet if I heard that something was happening.
Yep.
And there was nothing on Twitter, and then I'll go to it.
Yep.
But the first thing I'll do is like go to Twitter.
To your fire hose.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. So when I see a particular headline, let's say on Twitter or Facebook, I Google that headline, see what else is covering that.
Sure.
It's a pain to a lot of people. I mean, you just want to click on that thing, right? You just want to go, guess what happens next? Click here type thing. And you want to do that. The problem with those sites is something called Outbrain and Taboola. So Outbrain and Taboola are advertising networks where you can actually put your own content on reputable sites. And what you do is, as a publisher, to earn a bit more money, because they're all bleeding right now because no one's really advertising on newspapers anymore, is they allow you to, put content from other websites on a little sort of section on the article story. The problem is the publisher doesn't know what goes in there. It's like what we call an iframe in the industry, where it just pulls content from this fire hose, and it's really diminishing the how reputable these news sites are, because they're showing you content that they can't validate.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue with a lot of these news sites right now.
Yeah, so I might talk about this case study of how fake news goes viral. This is quite intriguing on the New York Times early in the week. So Eric Tucker is the case study. He, a 35-year-old co-founder of a marketing company in Austin, Texas. Great town, Austin. Shame it's in Texas. Now, he has 40 Twitter followers. Okay. And he's the genesis of this story. Okay, so he's actually a Trump supporter. And I think early in the week, he read about how Hillary people, thugs you might call them, were hired by the Hillary camp to go to these Trump rallies to incite violence. And therefore, making the CNNs of the world to sort of see that and then report on that to make Trump supporters look just really kind of dumb and hillbilly kind of thing. So we heard about that maybe on a radio station or maybe on the news. So he's just like driving into work in the rain, and he just sees a bus, like a caravan of buses. A caravan? A convoy of buses, full of people just going somewhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, okay, these must be those Hillary people that's going to the Trump rally, because I think there was a Trump rally at the same time. So he took some photos and he posted to his 40 followers.
Yep.
And he just hashtagged it with whatever the Trump hashtag was at the time. What was it? Fake protests, hashtag Trump 2016, hashtag Austin, hashtag. And this just literally blew up instantly.
Yep.
So it doesn't matter if you have 40 followers or 40,000 followers.
The hashtags, man.
And it kind of looked believable, I suppose. Like he's got pictures of the buses in the rain just being wheeled down the street. And what's the next thing that happened? It sort of made the right wing news, the news cycle as breaking news. They were saying things like they found buses, dozens lined up, just blocks away from the Austin protests.
Yeah, that's Reddit.
That's
Reddit,
Reddit,
the
is
front
it?
page of Reddit.
Yeah.
It was like 4,738 like upvotes.
Yes, and we're talking about matter of 8 p.m. is when he did it.
Yep.
And 12:49 a.m. is
3
when he
hours.
got to Reddit, the
Unbelievable.
homepage of Reddit.
Yep.
So this, I mean, while I sort of, I said earlier that I don't really get how these things get believed, but okay, so it was shared on Facebook as well, and 307,616 people have shared that link.
That's half the people who voted for no.
That is so it just became truth, I suppose.
Yeah. But that's the thing. You have, when you see stories like this and you feel passionate about it, it doesn't hurt you just to quickly do a search for a few seconds just to understand the story a lot more. But yeah, it's like freerepublic.com. You know what I mean? Like you got to open your eyes, man. You got to open your eyes.
So what could Facebook have done in this situation?
Not a lot. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it can identify freerepublic.com as a site that doesn't do its own journalism, where all it does is just share.
Right. So generally when you share something on Facebook, it's because you've seen it on Facebook and you just click that share button. It's not like you clip that article separately from freerepublic.com and you share it independently of Facebook, right?
But there are news sites that do that. They actually rehash the
I
article.
guess what I'm saying is, like, if Free Republic has been flagged as a potentially a fake news site, then maybe make it harder to reshare
That's
these
right.
sort of things. Yeah,
Maybe shut down their Facebook profile and things like. But they'll keep coming back. It's going to be tough for Facebook.
So that was an intriguing case study, and it kind of blew my mind, to be honest. Okay, did you want to talk about BuzzFeed?
Yeah, so BuzzFeed had a great article just looking at the history of how Facebook, sort of blew up this election.
Right.
And one of my favorite sort of pictures from the second term of Barack Obama when he won in 2012 was, that Instagram or Twitter photo that said 4 more years, and he was hugging Michelle, and it was sweet and it was amazing. And on Twitter alone, there were 500,000 retweets within a few hours, right? But on Facebook, there were 100,000 shares.
Okay.
So I think, Twitter was probably high-fiving, back then in 2012 when it was still a thing. But, Facebook just didn't have the same impact, that instant impact as Twitter did. And I think since that time, Facebook has gone like amok with new tech.
I think, 4 years ago, I think Facebook was that inward-looking social network. Like, it was mostly about your friends and family, not you wouldn't have followed Barack Obama necessarily.
No.
But that whole notion has changed, right? Whereas Twitter was public, it still is. But I think in terms of numbers, they're sort of waning. Facebook continues to grow incredibly. So,
and since then, I can't remember the exact dates, but Facebook owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and all these different things they've bought over the years to sort of
now they've got the side by side here.
Yeah.
Why is it that on Facebook the color's a little bit brighter?
Hey, what are you saying?
What's going on there?
I don't know. So I think Facebook has grown so much in the last 4 years, but has it overdone it? Because now it's so easy to share news. Instant articles is a thing. You can read articles, instantly almost. Has it almost opened it up too much without putting in the right, stop gates to filter out the news? Not like Twitter's doing anything new. I mean, there's a great story about how Twitter went, you know what? we're going to start banning some articles. So they started banning some what they call fake accounts, but they weren't. They were actually just these alt-right hate speech type accounts that they banned. So it begs the question, like, what about the freedom of speech and the rights on the internet? And what these outright hate groups have come back and said was, we're not going to sit down and let this happen. So they started setting up all these fake profiles instead. So causing even more fake news to go on the internet and more hate speech to go on the internet. You just can't stop it. Especially on Twitter, where everything is 144 characters and you can robotically, just time your tweets and let a robot just automatically generate hate speech. You just can't stop it.
So in conclusion, like, are they saying that, filtering won't work?
I think
or stocking accounts because someone else will get in their place?
Yeah, but so it's... There is a certain responsibility on Twitter, Google, and Facebook, but I just don't think they should bear all the responsibility.
So all those false claims that Donald J. Trump has been tweeting out the last couple of years, if there were, some of them have been proven to be fake, right? Or not true.
Yeah.
Could they have been banned?
Yeah, who knows?
Could Donald J. Trump,
I don't know.
President-elect.
The other fun side of this is maybe you could have a robot that's a fact checker. Like, you write a tweet, but then there's a little like tooltip or something or a footnote that comes up that the tweet bot or Facebook angel thing, it just pops up and goes.
I think we're a few years away, Kelvin. Ooh.
Yeah, just they're like, it just comes in and goes, fact check or something. I don't know. I mean, isn't there a whole website called factcheck.com or something that just checks things for you now? Fact check. It's what will defeat fake news.
Yeah. Okay. So, with all of this, my big problem with this is who decides what's real, what's fake. We can leave it to the algorithms, but maybe it's down to whoever designs those algorithms. It could be manually managed, but it's going to be a big job. You probably need more people to manage the post and people writing the posts.
Yep.
So what's the answer? Like, do we just ban everything? How about like you can't post anything on the internet anymore unless you have some sort of license? Are we going to that level?
I don't know. I still think the solution lies with the reader. Even newspapers are changing. I mean, Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post for $250 million, and it was his platform to retaliate against Trump in certain forums. So all I can say is use the tools that are available to you. Don't be afraid of unfollowing friends on Facebook that are sharing these things. You can still be friends. You just can't see the crap that they're sharing.
Should you, like, politely as you can, write a comment to say, hey, you might want to check up on that.
No, don't feed the problem. Don't
just hide it.
Don't troll your friends.
So you're just saying hide it.
Yeah, just unfollow them.
Okay.
And
aren't you perpetuating the filter bubble in that case?
You are, and I guess the flip side of that is don't stop discovering new content. Don't depend on the feed. Read paper. Read magazines, read newspapers, find journalists you like, follow them on, Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, your choice of social network. It's a lot more work. I'm going to put it out there for you. But if you want to be part of the solution, discover things without looking at them.
Yeah, I think it's down to some maybe more education. And I don't know, like whether we have to sort of teach this like at a very young age, how to actually use the internet 101. Also, I don't know, maybe just, go into it with an open mind a little bit more. Yeah. Like, I think it's just human nature to, read stuff that you like, basically. So it's going to resonate with you. So immediately you're going to just be drawn to that. And whatever you don't agree with, like, it's like, oh, that's I'm not going to read that crap.
Yeah.
So just come with a I don't know, like a critical mind. I think we can all do with that. So try to understand the other side's point of view. I don't know.
Yeah, no, and
peace, love, and mung beans.
No, I totally agree with you. You know what I mean? Like, look at both sides of the coin. But, you know, I'm also thinking about how easy it is to fall down the rabbit hole. We were just talking earlier about YouTube, right? You watch one video, another related video comes, and the moment you start, let's say you get sucked down this path of you know,
the 7-star symbols of the Illuminati.
Yeah, things like that.
Yeah.
It really eats into you. So it's not easy, people. Like, you know, we're throwing so much stuff. We've had so much stuff thrown at us, but, you know, stay strong.
Yeah.
And do a bit of homework.
How did we get to this, like, you know, right versus wrong, left versus right, you know, this sort of like distinct line down the middle, like, you know, everything is a grey thing, like nothing is black and white anymore.
No, nothing is.
You know, like, but people have sort of, I think maybe the filter bubble has something to do with it, like, because you just see, you like, what if you see something that validates your thinking already, is like, yeah, hell yeah, of course I'm right. Like that argument I was having with you the other day, Kelvin, you are so wrong because this article says so.
And the other problem is everyone's a publisher.
Yeah,
we're publishers. We're putting information out there. We're sharing news.
Actually, the other thing to this, and I think you know, it's nothing's to blame, you know, necessarily, but because of these platforms now, maybe we've sort of lost that skill to have one-on-one discussions about with the opposition or someone that with opposed points of view. Like we can just say, hey, you Queenslanders smell, and rather than actually you Queenslanders are quite cool.
I love your Forex. The other thing is, like, you know, there are websites like medium.com which allow people to write long form content. Who's going to validate if any of that research is valid? You know what I mean? Everyone's a publisher on the internet. It really is up to you to decide.
Yeah. There's no citing of facts anymore.
No.
You only cite the website that you found that from.
Yeah.
But that's probably like 10 generations or 10 steps from the actual original article.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I mean, you're getting a lot of newspapers even, you know, losing their sub-editors and you know, outsourcing it to a third world country somewhere. So even newspapers are finding it hard to validate all their facts.
And I think it's good that we're having this discussion now because this is nothing new.
No.
This has been around for a few years.
Yeah.
But people are talking about it. Hopefully, because of this, people are more educated now.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's going to change, actually. But yeah, there you go.
Yeah, recognize the bubble and find your way around it. And
wait, is that our show title?
Yeah,
recognize the bubble.
Recognize the bubble. Respect the bubble. And pop it. No. So that's it, really. How long was that episode?
That's long enough, I think.
So it's a bit of a deviation from our usual sort of, you know, look at technology, movies, pop culture, and things like that. But I think it's worth talking about because we all get hit by this every day, especially Jeff and I, when we look for news stories to cover, you know, for the podcast and all. So I think it's definitely a worthwhile chat. We hope you enjoyed it. Tell us what you think on Twitter at The Lazy Couch, or you can email us at thelazycouchpodcast@gmail.com. You can now join our chat room on Facebook. So what you do is you go on Facebook Messenger. There is, once you update the app, there should be a chat room option, and you can search for us, The Lazy Couch Podcast.
We will only share real news.
Yeah. Don't spam us. There's also the website, thelazycouch.com. And if you're listening on iTunes or Stitcher or any of your podcast tools of choice, just quickly rate us, and that's Kelp out.
Jeff out.
Are you tired of real doors cluttering up your house where you open them and you actually go somewhere and you go into another room? Get on down to Real Fake Doors. That's us. Fill a whole room up with them. See, watch. Check this out. Won't open. Won't open. Not this one. Not this one. None of them open. FakeDoors.com is our website, so check it out for a lot of really great deals on fake doors. Hey, wait a minute, Rick. I thought this was a commercial. What's going on?
Relax, Morty. Don't worry about it. Let's just see where this goes.
Step on it. We all got places to be. Son of a bitch. See? Oh, that must be where he lives. Okay.
Huh. He's making himself a sandwich now?
Hey, everybody. So this is my house. Just made a sandwich. Peanut butter and jelly. Still here. Still selling fake doors.
What? Oh my god, it's still the commercial.
We have fake doors like you wouldn't believe. What are you worried about? Come get fake doors. Call us up and order some fake doors today. Don't even hesitate. Don't even worry. And don't even...
All right, I'm bored. Change it.
Wait, Rick, hold on. Give it a second thought. That's our slogan. See it on the bottom of the screen below our name. Here's another slogan right below that one. What are you worried about? Come get fake doors. Get in here quick. Get out quicker with the arm of fake doors in your arm.
Okay, you can change it.
Don't even worry about it.